aren't you one of those diggers? Partially hidden in the trash of the dump is a frightened Stychius, though it doesn't look like the other Stychia you've seen. Its chitin is weak and soft, and its claws are small and malformed. It stares at you from its hiding place and jitters incomprehensibly. What are you? The creature makes vague motions with its claws and emits a series of clicks and wet guttural noises. Wait, like something like that? Oddly, you smell dust and lightning. Some of the sounds are reminiscent of a human with digestive trouble, but you're fairly certain it's some sort of language. How did you get here? It waves its head and clicks its claws, then pauses as if waiting for a response. The odor of ozone and stale air surrounds you. When you make no reply in its language, it shakes its head vigorously and says nothing more. Can you tell me anything about this place? The smell of coal dust and rotting metal surrounds you, and it takes you a moment to realize that the Stychias emit this distant scent. Something about the creature's behavior is familiar, and you realize that you, or at least the changing god, have spoken to the beasts before. Not skillfully, but well enough to be understood. Try to remember. Great, and I just wasted it. You fully depleted one of your stat pools. To recover your stat pools, you can find a place to sleep or use consumable. Ah, okay, so I can either sleep or use consumables. A murky memory comes to you. A small box resting between you and a patient Stychius. Your muscles jerking and twitches as the device translates your words and thoughts. Your muscles twitch in sympathy with these memories, and you realize that the Stychia's tongue is a jumble of scent, movement, and sounds. With the memory, information pours into your mind, as if a plug had been removed. The smell of granite fills your nose. As the vision fades, you realize the creature's language is yours. What is Stychius doing up here? It clicks and sounds resolve themselves into words in your head. Tan live below, bad glow, not dig, not eat, no. Stychia family. And the scent it uses is one of desolation and abandonment, a great void within the earth. Stand above ground to do that. You are sent up here? By other Stychia? Why? You are sent up here by the other Stychia. Why? It holds up its malformed claws. No. Good. It presses its shell, which bends like leather. Soft like crap, but not strong, not thick, no work. Trash rebel, not even kneel under. Stychia dig for food. Then what do you eat? It makes a digging motion, dragging his claw against the ground. Then with his other, fans his stubby talons like someone mimicking a bright flash. Dig makes spark, it sparks, not dig, don't make spark, not eat, not hunt. If you can't make sparks to eat, why haven't you starved to death up here? It points down the alley. Baby brown grab feet. It shows you a heap of small electrical devices, all drained of energy. Spark shells, spark tubes. It points to itself and smells of flint and steel. Eat! Its scent is gratitude. Huh. With water? Why? Why? What in this garbage dump? You shall grab steel. Leave here. It emits a fierce scent of rotten air and underwater floods. Not speak. Dangerous. Okay. Okay. Human who speaks stick, yeah. Stick will speak. I have come again to ask you to stop digging underneath the city. Why? Where we go? Give reason to stop. Do you want your people to have a future? Do you want war with the humans above? They will collapse your tunnels. They will destroy you. Oh crap. Can I get out of here? That worked. It considers your words for a time, and the scents that surround it vary from the frightening to the mundane. At last, the smell of synth and strong glass waft past your nose, and Chitek says, Human gave good reason. Yes, stick, comply. It scratches the wall and drums a pattern there. Stick a move deeper, barrel to lesser rock. Starve for human's sake. Not fight with humans is better. At first glance, it would be easy to assume that this man is dying of some wasting disease or starvation. He is little more than a too-tall skeleton wrapped in translucent flesh and a tattered robe. His hands are essentially bony claws. And yet, he beams at you, his sunken eyes glittering with suppressed laughter and feverish life. Keep your guard up around this one. Imbeat is sharp. Very sharp. He's eaten a lot of very smart people. Impetu smiles, his teeth are muddy brown. I know you! So many eyes have lingered on that tattoo. That noble brow. He reaches for your forehead with a shivering, skeletal finger. No thank you. You step out of his reach. He blinks, then smiles. I am very sorry. I rarely deal with the living. Corpses are not quite so bashful. He flaps his hands at you. I remember you now, of course. Old Kirisa once saw you out of the corner of her eye. A week before his accident, Ulorimer sold you a small bag of, sugar-dusted almonds. But those aren't the only two. No. You drift for countless lives, altering and ending them, never leaving a name. Oh, I can't stand mysteries. Love them, but can't stand them. Who are you? Let me remain a mystery. Oh, if you must. So, what brings you to the chapel of the Derangel who? I'm helping Folsom investigate some trouble in the underbelly. Can I ask you some questions? Of course! And do tell Folsom hello from me. We are dear friends. Well, he frowns more than I smile, but we do have a grand time whenever we meet, which is often. I would like to question your acolytes. Would that be alright? Can't allow it, I'm afraid. He says with a thin smile. Not without a reason. They're young and easily distracted from the path I've laboriously carved before them. Perhaps another time. One of Folsom's proteges was murdered. Do you know anything about it? Not a thing. Why, am I a suspect? Maybe. heaping your own counsel. Very wise. Very, very wise. Are you sure you don't know anything about the murder? I don't. I wish I did. Even in the best of times, I'm such a surly dinner companion. I can only imagine his mood now. Okay, thank you, but I think we can discuss something else. I should have chosen the other option. Tell me about your cult. We worship the great Queen Salvoon, Lady of Magus, Goddess of Entropy, and Guardian of the Empty Barrier, he says, then pauses, tapping a muddy tooth thoughtfully. Although worship is the wrong word, perhaps. He points to the altar nearby. It displays a skull with flat, unforgiving eyes, buried in its hollow socket. Okay, so we are starting to learn new pantheon of gods. Yay. Sarlavun. She waits on the other side of death with her billions of squirming children. They devour whatever passes into their realm, and rightfully so. Everyone must eat. But whatever she and her children eat is lost forever, and so the Dendrochur work to preserve the minds and the mysteries of mortals before death claims them. We hold their shrill little thoughts in our minds and let them tumble around as they will. He shivers. It feels marvelous. I have some question about the Dendrochur. Lovely. This may surprise you, but we rarely get curious visitors. Most people seem quite nervous about us. He wets his cracked lips and awaits your questions with polite interest. What does your cult's name mean? The old man's eyes dart from side to side, and he leans in. Nobody knows, he whispers, delighted. It's a mystery, isn't that wonderful? So this is how you preserve humanity's knowledge? Oh, I know, I thought everyone knew that. Yes, we eat flesh and organs of corpses to assimilate their minds, then... He trails off, noticing expression. What? I was more interested in the process than your methods. A fellow scholar! Well, it's quite simple and impossibly complex at the same time. He points to the various hoses and chambers adorning his robes. We don't chew on the corpses, of course. That would be quite messy and lethal, most likely. Humans are a diseased bunch. Our suits liquefy that flesh, extracting the information contained within. When we feed upon this enriched flesh, it becomes part of us. At any rate, we scour the streets for bodies left unclaimed. We bring them here and lay them upon the biers. He sweeps and directs your attention to the still, shrouded figures lying about the chamber. When a body is ripe, weave and pluck secrets, we gather about it and taste it together. Let a lifetime of thoughts flit around ours like little fish. Interesting. Oh, it is! And dangerous, of course. It does drive us all the slightest bit mad. But it's worth it, even so. No, the internet doing shenanigans. Internet work. Anything else to talk? We can talk about you. Tell me about yourself. Oh, there isn't much to tell. I've spent most of my years in this little chapel. The Dendrochur sort of consumed my life. Why did you join? Well, that's a Good question. A very good question. I congratulate you on asking it. He rubs his hands together with a papery sound. I cannot tell you much. Outsiders rarely understand what calls us to the danger of war, but you have kind eyes. And so I will tell you that it was kindness. Beyond that, however, I cannot answer. My apologies. Okay, thank you then. The bartender is tall, powerful-built man with nut-brown skin and a bushy beard. He radiates strength and confidence. He moves with speed when necessary and remains almost motionless the rest of the time, like a predator waiting to leap. Yet even when he prepares a drink, he doesn't touch a thing. His brow furrows slightly, and the bottles and glasses lift by themselves. When he sees you, he smiles broadly. Welcome to the Fifth Eye, friend. I am Feryuk. Can you tell me about this place? The Fifth Eye is bar for psychics. Well, at least it is now. In the prior worlds, near as we can tell, it was an old pumping station. All these pipes lead down to some reservoirs deep beneath the city, and they pump whatever it is in the reservoirs up here. Anyway, some damn fools started drinking from the pipes, and some other fools started it too. Some of them died, but some got drunk as well. After a few whiles, vague enough for you? They got pretty good at figuring out which were safe and which weren't, and that's when they figured they'd start making money off the place. The reason psychics flock here is because the building dampens out the psychic noise of the city. The drinks help too. Feryuk means to say that he is only involved in the delivery of these drinks rather than their creation. Given his skills, this is only right and proper. He throws a hand across his forehead. I have been maligned by this desert-dwelling interloper. You said this is a bar for psychics. What does that mean? It means this is a place where psychics can unwind. Get away from the city, get away from the noise. You know what it's like to be a psychic? Let me paint you a picture. Imagine every time you're going to sleep, someone comes and starts screaming in your ear. Or objects in the room start whispering about how they want to burn. Or they might tell you their secret names and how to make them float and dance at your command. Or maybe every person you meet is like a house with all its doors and windows thrown open, and you can't help but look into to plunder their secrets. And underneath it all, hear their silent judgments, the truths they hide, even from themselves. He pauses to concentrate on a floating cloth as it wipes a mug clean. Then the mug places itself on a rack. Folks think that it's a blessing to have these powers, and sometimes it really is, especially when you can join your friends and to make something great. But it can be hard, hateful, and you can never tell when you're going over the edge of insanity. I would like a drink. You're in for a treat, friend. A real treat. Assuming you call the possibility of a toxic reaction a treat, of course. We've positively identified some of these are safe. Smaller subset here as inebriants or hallucinogens. We've got a few that are, well, chancy. As in, sometimes they kill people. Cost for a safe drink is Frisians. Experimental ones, those are 10. Why? No, I want to ask questions. Why the experimental ones are more expensive? Give me one of the safe ones. He nods and closes his eyes. Coming right up. Glasses and cups float through the air without his touch, moving with precision to the speakers on the walls. One settles before you. You drink it. This dark and foaming beverage has no flavor you can name. If you could name the sound of the night, with insects softly humming their mating songs, Nighthawks cruising the low thermals, and laughter from a nearby house in the woods, it would be this taste. It fills you with nostalgia for no reason you can name. Then, okay, now let's talk about the chassis drinks. We've got this strange black ichor, thick enough that it's almost chewy. There's a pink sludge that's known entheogen, but the strength varies and sometimes kills people. We have one that smells like El Taban fruit, and we sometimes use that one to get rid of stubborn grease stains. It's acidic, but well, maybe it's an acquired taste. Give me the black one. I tested the stuff once. I don't remember much about the time afterward, but I was raving about holes in reality. Well, here's your drink. A strong gloved bow floats under a pipe. A spigot turns and the ichor oozes from it. You can smell it from here. The bowl falls back to you, without fear of touching. Drink fast, is my advice. You put the word to deed. The taste is not unpleasant, though the texture is horrifying, unbidden. You think of soft flesh rotting under a jungle sun. Nothing happens. At least not right away. Just as you begin to doubt the ichor's efficacy, you feel the earth shift slightly. The walls shiver and begin to shake. Their surfaces look as if they are slowly melting. You feel the weight of the ceiling and sky forcing you to the floor, and only a great effort of will keeps you standing. Rents begin to appear in the flat surfaces of the bar, in the walls. Scabrous tissue rims their edges, and a deathly coarse pipes through in a register almost too high to hear. The world tilts on its axis and you stagger to the right. Your vision blurs and the invisible world swims into view, becoming more solid than the world you call home. Nice. Okay, let's talk with Malaise. The small, unassuming man occupies this space quietly, hands folded in front of him. He doesn't look at you, but you can feel his regard slip across you and dismiss you as soon as you approach. His attention remains focused on the trio at the nearby table. Everything about him is nondescript, from his light brown skin to his drab clothing, but something about him gives you pause, as if you were approaching the throbbing core of a fallen vessel. When at last he turns his attention to you, you feel his regard settle. Like a soft blanket made of metal, it is almost oppressive. Malaise, he says. That is who I am. His voice sounds distorted, strangely out of sync, as if he were calling you from a distance. I can try it. Okay, you can't read his thoughts any more than you can read the thoughts of the tables in the bar. Where did you come from? His voice is strange and disjointed. The world has always known me. Look around the corner. I exist on the smallest edge. Close your eyes and shiver. I am the cold in your bones. The saccade is my home. The interstice is my mind. The frost that surrounds his words suggests that you have offended him. Do you know your name means sickness? Meaning itself is sickness, vision, action, movement. This is the only sign of health. The energy that flows in your body, I read it through your skin. I see your actions before your muscles even begin to twitch. The body's secrets are no defense against me. What is sickness compared to this? Why are you watching these people? They shine, they glow, they tempt. His voice shimmers strangely, and you hear a distorted echo of thousands of voices mimicking his words. I am desperately looking for anyone to join me. The wispy mustache on this pudgy middle-aged man would be almost comical if it weren't for his deep and despairing eyes. They are the eyes of a man who has passed through the gates of alien hells and returned, though not necessarily whole. His fingers tightly wrapped around some fine glassware, are strong and slim. A musician's fingers or a strangler's. Before you open your mouth to speak, he says, "What is that place in your head?" "It's a labyrinth." A labyrinth? That's a novel construction. I've seen people construct psychic fortresses, cathedral graveyards, hellscapes, and vortices from which no life escapes. All dramatic places, all powerful and forbidding. But a labyrinth? Well, that's a whole different construction. That speaks to cunning and guile. Do you mind if I take a quick look? Seems like a strange thing to carry and not know anything about. Go ahead. My thanks, though it's not often the wisest choice to let strangers enter your mind. I will not do you any harm. Might help, even. He smiles to take the sting out of his words. Ready? He breathes in, and suddenly you feel you are a mote tucked inside a gigantic prism, with eyes peering in at you from all around. You are held tightly in an enormous fist. You are a flimsy piece of glass held up to the light. Yet somehow it is not utterly terrifying. His words come to you as if from a distance. A shared space. Such depth, such twists. It builds itself around your experiences, around those who share it with you. Shared spaces are occasionally dangerous, so I sharpened a part of your mind. I didn't probe deeply, but this would be an excellent battleground. If you lured a foe to you, you could trap it within your mind. You could destroy it. Oh, introductions, yes. I'm Dama of the Bloom. He pinches the bridge of his nose, his eyes tightly shut, and you feel the gentle and powerful presence surround your consciousness. I have a request for you. It might seem strange, but you have an interesting topography to your mind. You might be able to help us. The Fifth Eye is home to psychic veterans. We forward an incursion of nightmares, I suppose. Nightmares slithering into the city's shared dream space, eating minds and leaving husks behind. We call them the adversaries. We burn them out and cauterize the wounds through which they infected our reality. But I can't shake the nagging feeling that one of them survived and waits to strike. I trust my intuition, and now it's telling me to ask for your help. I'll be happy to help. What do I need to do? My thanks. I feel the adversary. I know it's here. I know it's close. It's watching us. But it's hiding its presence, and I fear it will strike when our guard is down. It may well be the Fifth Eye even now. Sadly, our Fifth Eye is blind. It might be that our foe has blinded us, but it might not have shielded itself from you. Look for it, and tell me if you find something unusual. Do you see that man there, Malaise? He's watching you. The blood drains from his face. What? Right there. I see nothing. I feel nothing. He grasps your mind with his, not gently, and he echoes in your skull. Anything there is hitting to me. Zio, can you sense anything? Let me see. In the center of her forehead, her skin irises open, and a third metallic eye protrudes from her, glowing brightly. It extends from her head on a mechanical segment, emitting a series of rapid flashes that descend through the visible spectrum. At last, the eye retracts and her forehead closes. She swallows, and you can feel the fear radiate from her. She's right. It's there. On a low pulse, a wavelength far below human thought.
I'll remember that.
A control as hard as steel surrounds him. The adversaries have never done this. I knew they adapted by the black tree. What has it learned? It has been watching us for how long? Zio, be ready. Let's confront it together. Yes, we will. What can I get over here? To flank him? I think I can flank him. Yeah, you stay there. I'm helping!
I can't.
Oh, I'm dead. I can't say I expected you back so soon. You died? I mean, not dead, but you came full close. You should be more careful out there. For both of us. Okay. I found the resonance chamber, but it's broken. Yeah, I saw that. I don't see everything you do out there in the world, but I definitely saw that. You have to find a way to fix it. Could other... Okay, thank you. Ziope is standing over a stricken Dama. She looks at you and shakes her head. When the adversary overcame you, he... Dama interceded. He saw the battle was lost unless he could make a desperate gambit. He cast himself into the outer reaches of psychic space. He used his own mind to seal the breach. He gave up his consciousness, his self. He gave up everything he is, everything he was. He did that for us, without a thought. No, with one thought, but not for himself. We will never know another of his kind. He would have wanted you rewarded for... He would have wanted you rewarded for your help, and you have my gratitude. You have all our gratitude. Even if no one else hears this, you have done great work today. Carry that knowledge with you. She claps your shoulder and hands you a small device. Farewell, friend. Everything about this slender young man says thug. From his scar-slashed eyebrows to the calloused hand hovering over his hip, where a dagger would hang. But he doesn't have one. Instead, flour cakes his hands and a single apron string hangs from his pocket. He is apparently a baker. Stand still, you shine, he says and peers over your shoulder. You follow his gaze to an armored soldier who was loitering in the public square. That Levy's been following me for days, can't even stop for a piece without shaking side to side. What's a Levy? What's up? You new in town? There's one right over there. No, don't look. They're the law, right? You must have seen them. Always smiling, even if they're snapping the chains on. But not this one. No, he follows me around from dawn to dark, staring at me, trying to trap me in the alleys. I ain't done nothing wrong. And it's worse than that. That's my levy. What do you mean he's your levy? I'm a citizen. He says as if this explains it. When it becomes clear it hasn't, he groans. Every levy is made for a citizen. This one was made for me. Look, I can't explain why, but I know that one's mine. I did it, right? And now it's coming from me. Look, he won't leave me alone, right? I gave a year of my life to make him, and I thought that was that. Now I catch him standing in the street outside the bakery, whispering to himself, playing with that carving of his. He even tried to talk to me. Levi's ain't supposed to know who they came from, right? They ain't supposed to know who you are. Could you talk to him? Find out what he wants? Can't you talk to him? I've heard stories. Levi's go wrong sometimes, get obsessed with the person who gave them life. If the two ever meet, the Levi goes mad, tears them apart. That ain't going to happen to me. Not after all I've been through. Alright, I'll try. He nods again toward the armored man who's standing in a distance away in the public square. He's the only Levi in the district, so you can't miss him. Plus he ain't smiling like all the others, and he's holding some charred wooden thing in his hands.
I'll remember that.
Yeah, anything else? Yes, I don't understand why you think your Levi wants to murder you, Levi. Look. He begins obviously going to frame his explanation. Look, you don't track a man for days and days unless you want something, yeah? Maybe you like his shoes or you're curious about how many shins he's got. No, I don't have any shins and my shoes are older than me. Only thing I got that's worth anything is my life. Anyway, I told you about the stories I've heard, how sometimes things go wrong. You take a look at that lady. Everything about him is wrong. What is a normal behavior for a Levi? He hesitates, raising his hands as if he's trying to contain his response before he lets it escape his mouth. They work for people who make the rules, right? And if someone breaks those laws, they track them down. Always smiling, mind you, figures that my Levi would be in the unhappy kind. How did they create your Levi? I look like a scholar to you. All I know is where they told me to stand. Look, people who want to be, respectable in this town, they become citizens. They want you to do that it is step into this glass chamber. Takes a year out of your life, they say. I figure it squeezes that year into human shape. Don't know how, wouldn't pay 2 shins to know. The face of this armored man is oddly generic, almost as if it was designed to be forgettable. His livery marks him as a soldier in the service of Sagos Cliffs, a Levi. The word comes easily to your mind. He stares past you, turning a small charred object over and over in his hands, whispering to himself. His overlarge eyes are red, wet, and haunted. He appears to be looking for someone, and having spoken to Finzin, you can imagine who. The aura of shame around him is so powerful that you can practically taste it. What are you holding there? He says, then grimaces as though his words hurt him. I'm holding my shame. His hands unfold one bloody, soot-covered finger at a time. A crudely made wooden bird lies there, painted in pinks and pale blues. and charred around the edges. That bird represents your shame. Represents? No. This is my shame, and I'm holding it. I can't put it down. Vincent sent me to find out why you're following him. Yes? He says the despair melting away. In that moment, he looks like a child, with a child's desperate hope. He knows too, doesn't he? He sees what he did, what we did. Tears leak from his eyes, trailing down into his mouth as he continues. When the machine ripped the year from him to make me, I felt the choices unraveling before me. He hacks himself. I see them coming. None of it can be changed.
I'll remember that.
Tell him this. For me, the Gillen Manor job did happen. A servant caught him, called the Levi's. They chased him and he set a fire. The fire spread through the neighborhood. People were trapped. People screamed. His hand clenches over the charred toy bird in his palms with a soft crunch. Please tell him. Tell him I'm with him in the dark, hiding from the mobs, sobbing. Tell him. Tell him to give me a different year. A better one. What kind of year do you want from Vincent? A year without the blackened door. Without the hand tangled in the grate. The weeping in the dark places. Silent tears stream down his face. He doesn't seem to be aware of them. Wails rising with the glowing ashes, my arms bound with ragged rope. Every time I'm there, in those last minutes, I try to apologize, but my mouth is full of dirt and blood. I've spoken to Levi. He mentioned something about the Gillen Manor job. What? Keep your voice down. You tell anyone about this? No? Good. I have to be unspecific about this, understand? Before I became a citizen, I wasn't a nice person. I took things for money, and just a few weeks ago, certain people told me they wanted me to drop Gillen Manor. I was going to do it, but then I became a citizen, gave up a year of my life to create the Levi, that Levi. Something changed. All of a sudden, I couldn't get the dangers out of my head. How fake the Levi patrols were, or how the captain herself was looking into one of my older adventures. He plays with the apron strings hanging from his pocket. So I cancelled the job and started working at my own bakery. Never did the Gillen job. And that's the truth. So the Levi is seeing what would have happened if you did the job. He wants another year from you.
Making a note.
Oh, I get it. It's a shakedown. Give me a year, I tell them what you did. Well, it ain't done anything, and I never killed anyone, and I don't owe him nothing. I can keep handing out years like they're free. Based on what he said, it sounds like becoming a citizen saved your life. And that was my decision, not his.
I'll remember that.
I would go up to Government Square and tell the captain of Levi's what he's up to. If I had any way of explaining it. Hey, your Levi's following me around. I think it's because he's haunted by my criminal past. Give the Levi another year of your life. You started fresh. He should get the same chance. So now we can do the edge. Yeah, sure. Oh, what? A couple but dreams. I didn't do anything. He subsides, crossing his arms as if he's cold. Right, what did he see in our other future? I get caught? Chased around, maybe? You started a fire that killed a lot of people. How much is a lot? He says, rubbing his mouth with the back of his hand. He sees some of the truth in your eyes and sighs.
Making a note.
Fine. But I ain't running myself down searching for a way to give my life away. That Levi machines at the Order of Truth. Go talk to the scholars since you're so hungry for this. Maybe they can bash something together that will rip another ear from me and give it to him. Good luck. This young woman clutches herself and growls, low and continuously under her breath. Pearly white light shimmers from a vial on her wrist, and her eyes are red-rimmed, as if she's been crying. You've never seen her before, and yet your hands are sweating, and your breath catches in your inherited chest. Shame burns your throat, hot and sour. Your body recognizes her, even if you do not. Leave me alone, she mutters, and it's a moment before you realize she's not talking to you. You took my face, stole my family, whispered me in my own voice. Isn't that enough? Isn't that... She breaks off when she sees you. She's in my head, and she won't. Shut up! Talk loud. Talk over her so I can hear you. The angry sneer of her lips suddenly brings the image of the ghost from the fifth eye to your mind. You remind me of someone. A ghost. What? No, you're crazy. But the sudden widening of her eyes suggests that you've hidden something. Stop talking about her. It makes her louder. I am not her. You're a woman in your head? Yes. Now stop talking about her. It brings her forward and she clings. She whines and she won't stop, so please stop talking about her. What is the shining object you're holding? She flinches but reveals the vial strapped to her wrist. It glows with an inner light, and the tiny ripples within seems to cast moving shadows on her palm. I woke up one night in a building I'd never seen before. I found this beneath a pile of blackened scales. If you shake it, it makes a picture. Watch! She jiggles the vial and holds up her other hand. Indistinct shadows mimic the motion on her palm. Why are you holding on to it? Because I feel like it was mine. She blurs and grimaces, as if the words escaped without her permission. At any rate, it's mine now, and I don't need more of a reason than that. You should give it to me. I don't want to really try. If it works, it works. No, it didn't work. She hesitates, then covers the vial with her hands. I don't know what it is, but it's mine. I'll take the risk. Okay. I'm sorry, but I want to hear about the woman in your head. No, every time I think about her, she inches closer to me, pulls on my arm. Stop asking about her, please.